Hello friends. So today our topic is Docker. So today we'll go through what is Docker, Docker overview, what is container, and the difference between virtual machine and containers. Then other stuffs also. What is the Docker history, how you are using all these things. Today we'll go through. Okay. So yep. This tutorial is basically made for who all are wants to join as a DevOps engineer, or who wants to learn containerization, or who wants to learn Kubernetes, because the basic requirement of Kubernetes is there is some basic knowledge of containerization. Okay, so yeah, let's start. Okay, so as this is my GitHub repo, so I'll mention this in the comment in the description, the GitHub link, so that you can refer it. Okay, so yeah, let us start. So what is Docker overview? Okay, so Docker is an open source platform designed to build and to distribute and run the application inside a container. Okay, so this is the definition of Docker. Okay, so let me explain you on a little more on this. Okay, so how we are deploying our application on standalone instances, right? So suppose this is our machine in the sense, suppose this is the server. Okay, so yeah, this is the server where I want to deploy the application, and on top of this server I have, suppose we have installed Nginx, and here we have configured so that the application is exposed to real world. Okay, so this is the server, and how you are accessing the server. This server will have the IP, it's not IP. Yeah, yes, this server will having their public IP, right? Both public IP and private IP. So okay, so for example, this server is having private IP 192.168.2.5, and this server is having public IP, suppose 17.273.52.50, for example. Okay, so how the application is exposed to the real world. So there is something called URL mapping, right? So this IP is mapped to the URL, for example, Jagannath DevOps. Okay, JAGANNATH DevOps. Okay, jagannathdevops.com. Then how the people will communicate to the to this URL. Okay, so this is the our local system, right? Our local laptop, and we are the end user, right? So we are the end user. How you can access it? We can access through keyboard, and we'll request as the keyboard is the input of machine, so we'll request, hey computer, I want to see this URL. Okay, so once we'll hit the URL in the browser, that jagannathdevops.com, then the request will go to internet, and through the internet it will find that this URL is mapped to this IP, this public IP. Then it will go to the request to this particular server, then we can access whatever we want, right? So here so here the problem will be like to manage this server, right? So to manage this particular server, we need lots of things, right? Lots of things in the sense, we need power, then we need to we need the other resources like hardware compatibility, hardware also, then internet, all these things. Okay, so this is okay, so all these things we need to manage. Fine. Then if anything, in instead if this is the standalone server, and apart from Nginx, we can't like install any other things, right? Because this is the production environment. If we install other application also in this server, if you will install other application also, then it will be problem, right? It will be problem for this server also, because if the request will be more, then there is chances this server will get this server might get crash, right? So why it get what is the reason it will get crash? Because when we'll access the server, or when we'll access any machine, right, any laptop also, there is something called CPU, right? CPU, memory, right? So all these things will be consumed, right? So for example, this is 2 core CPU and this is 4 GB RAM. Then the problem will be the resources, right? So resources will be getting more and more, and there is chances also that this server will get crash. Then this is the standalone scenario. Okay, so that's why there is something called dockerization. Okay, so dockerization, docker containerization come into the picture. Okay, let me show you another diagram. Okay, open it. Let me expand it. So if you have any doubt, please ping in the comment section. I can definitely help you on that. Okay, so next, then why we are using over the standalone servers, why we use this containerization? Okay, so for example, this is the virtual machine. Okay, so this is the virtual machine. Okay, then I'll tell you what is virtualization, how these things are so complicated. Okay, so this is my this is my laptop. On top of it, I have created one virtualization things. Okay, so on this virtualization, I have installed Ubuntu. Okay, Ubuntu 18. And another OS I have installed, that is Ubuntu 22. Okay, sorry, this let us take is Ubuntu 20. Okay, 20.04. Then this is Ubuntu 22.04, because Ubuntu 18 is already Ubuntu people, they are not supporting. Okay, that is vanished. So okay, fine. So here the problem is, so for example, this is the laptop, and this laptop is having 2 core CPU. Okay, 2 core CPU and suppose 6 GB of RAM. Okay, let me make it another diagram. This is the laptop, and on top of it I have installed two like two virtualization things, and one is Ubuntu 20, another one is Ubuntu 22. Okay, now so when we create the virtual machine, we need to assign some kind of memory. Okay, some kind of memory. So as this server is this laptop is having 8 GB, for example, let us give 3 GB RAM, right? 3 GB RAM to this virtual machine, another 3 GB RAM to this virtual machine. Then when we'll start the server laptop, and when we'll start both the virtual machine, okay, when start both the virtual machine, then the total CPU, how much CPU, sorry, how much RAM it will be consumed. For example, this whole will be 6 GB. Then other thing also, like other to run this laptop also, there is it will also get some kind of memory, right? For example, let us assume like 1.5 GB, right? Then how much left? Then there is left of only 0.5 GB, or might be if it will be 2 GB, then it will be left as 0. There will be no memory space. Then what will be the problem? So here the problem will be the the response time, the performance of this laptop will be decreased. Why? Because when we'll install virtual machine on top of any laptop, the virtual machine will consume it's this laptop's memory. This laptop's memory, that means it is using the resources of this laptop, correct? I hope you people are understanding all this thing. Okay, so this laptop will also consume more memory. Okay, but when we create containerization, or when we'll create a container, the what is the benefit? Okay, let me draw another diagram. Okay, so here, for example, this is my laptop. Okay, this is my laptop. So when I will create multiple containers, so this is container 1, this is container 2, then the main benefit of this containerization is it will not use the laptop's memory. Okay, the laptop's resources it will not use. Okay, they will not share uh, uh, like they, they will not consume the memory of this laptop. Okay, this is one benefit. Then second benefit is we can container. Okay, by the name you can understand what is container. Okay, so container is nothing but one one kind of box, on layman language you can say, right? One kind of box in which we can ship multiple goods, right? So that is the in layman language, that is the container, right? So same way in Docker container also, what we can do, we can ship or we can transfer the applications as well. Okay, so whatever require to run the application, if we'll do that application as containerization, we can ship it. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, I hope you have the clear idea now what is container. Okay, and what is how container is a little different from the virtual machine. Fine. Now what we'll do, let us go to the GitHub repo. I'll explain you one by one. Okay, so let me go to the repo. So where is my repo? Yes, this is okay. Fine. So now what is the difference between virtual machine and containerization? First difference is in virtual machine we need to create more time. Okay, I think you people know, when you install any virtualization on top of your laptop, it will take around the application itself is virtual machines are for 400 MB or 500 MB. That kind of disk space it will be used. Okay, so that is the thing. But when we'll create any container, it will take very less time. Okay, so when I'll explain one more in depth, or when I'll do practical, that time you will have the clear picture. Okay, so second difference is in virtual machine there is a dedicated OS. Okay, but in container there is common OS. Okay, so let me open that diagram. So okay, so here what it is telling, in virtual machine there is dedicated OS, right? for this virtual machine it will be having one dedicated OS, it will be also having one dedicated OS. Okay, but in container, okay, in Docker container it is having uh, like common OS. Okay, for example, so here if you see on this is the laptop. On top of it I have installed two container. Both the container is having dedicated to one OS. Okay, so this is also important. Okay, next is in virtual machine it is having specific library and the binary. Okay, so here when we install this virtual machine, is this is Ubuntu 20 and this is Ubuntu 22. For this virtual machine is also having specific library for Ubuntu 20, and for Ubuntu 22 this is also, this will be also having specific binary and library. But in container the both the library and binary both are common for one container, because it will be used the OS of the where Docker is installed. It will use that laptop's library and binary. Okay, next thing is dedicated resources for virtual machine. I hope this I have already explained. Let me show you. For this, as I have already mentioned, for this virtual machine, if we run both the virtual machine, then it will use 3 plus 3, 6 GB resources, 6 GB memory resources from this laptop. That means it is also using the dedicated resources, right? That is the thing. Okay, and I hope you are understanding, right? And you can, I have already explained you, right? Memory wastage will be also there, but here it will be not memory wastage, and very low performance, right? Because when the resources will be getting more and more, then the performance will be less. But in containerization, there is very less. Very high, sorry, very high performance. Okay, and no memory wastage, I can say. Okay, and when we need to configure this virtual machine, then there is lots of things we need to do. Okay, step by step let me show you. So if we'll go to here and if we'll see how to create a virtual machine, see what all things we need to have. A computer processor, then the at least 2 to 8 28 to 20 GB, that means the resources is also it is being used. Then we must have the ISO file also, right? And for Ubuntu 22, if you want to install this ISO file, that will be like more than 4 GB file. Okay, in between 4 to 5 GB file, right? And if we are creating the virtual machine, we need the product key, then internet connection, and the virtual box. This is also important. Virtual box installation file also we need. So it will be, so all these processes are there, and more than 1 hour it will take to configure. Okay, so this is also one disadvantages in virtual machine that I have already mentioned. Okay, so if you see here, this is complex, very complex configuration for this virtual machine. But for this container, very easy, very easy. Okay, so if I will show you, create container first in Phoenix. Okay, so if we go to here of in, okay, see, this is the command just we need to run. docker hyphen it, then hyphen r hyphen rm hyphen d hyphen p, then this is the port forwarding, then the what name we need to give and what is the docker image name. That's it. Then what it will do, it the doc nginx image will be running. Okay, but if you want to install this nginx on standalone instance, then there will be like 6-7 line of code, it will be there, like a 6-7 line of command, it will be there, we need to install. So a doc to run the docker container, it is very easy, right, when it is compared to virtual machine. Okay, next, see, heavy weight, right, virtual machine, as I have already shown you here in this tutorial also, they are mentioning like we need to some kind like 4 GB or something, right. Yeah, see, 8 to 20 GB of disk space is needed. Okay, but here there is no, very less disk space it is needed. Okay, so when okay, here memory we can't share in virtual machine, right. So here if you see in this diagram, here this server is this virtual machine is having like a um, for example we, if we have given 3 GB RAM, right, 3 GB, and if it is 3 GB. Okay, for example, if it is free, if the memory, if the memory is free of 1 GB, okay, there is, it is being used 2 GB, 1 GB is free. But if the server, if this virtual machine is completely consumed 3 GB, and if it require more GB, more memory, okay, it cannot get it from this virtual machine. So this is also another disadvantages, right. So that I have already mentioned here in the diagram, that memory cannot share in virtual machine, but here in this containerization memory can be shared. Okay, okay.